Kayla Ebby here with the Educator Chipotle Challenge, doing an Educator shout-out interview with
Rocco.
Rocco. Thank you so much, Rocco, for being here. What grade are you in, and what city do you go to school in?
I am in 7th grade, and I go to a middle school in Beaverton, Oregon.
Beaverton, Oregon. You were in 7th grade. Gosh, I knew you when you were in what grade? Oh my gosh, 2nd? Wow. It's been 4 or 5 years since I've seen you. Rocco, name one or more educators who have had a positive impact in your life and how they made a difference.
My middle school counselor, Mr. Murai, made an impact in my life by, there were some bullies that were like, so I'm blind in my right eye, legally blind in my right eye.
Mm-hmm.
And he helped me with the 504 plan, which the 504 plan is basically like, I get to leave 5 minutes early from each class so that I can make it through the halls safely so that I don't get hit.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, he's helped me throughout this journey that I've been blind in my right eye, and I've only had one eye to see out of, so he's helped me through that journey.
That's awesome. It's great to have somebody by your side creating a plan that feels like you're a part of, and you're part of a team, and finding ways to help it be a little bit easier for you to go about your school day. Does it help to leave five minutes early?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Less busyness in the hallways?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that he has done or said, or different qualities about him that have made him the school counselor, the educator that you want to shout out to?
He's just really kind, and he's a great person, and he uses really kind words with the people that bully me with my red eye and stuff, so I'm thankful for that.
Great. Thank you for sharing. Rocco, how else has Mr. Murai helped you at school?
So basically, he's set up speeches with me, and I've talked with him a lot, and he's taught me to advocate for myself and that I should stand up to bullies, but before that, I should go to his office and talk with him about how we're going to improve the bullying and how we're going to turn it around to a positive side, and how we're going to make friendships. And he's helped me with my speeches, write page-long papers, and every often or so I usually make speeches to new terms, new term classes that how we switch terms, we have different classes, and I get new students in my class every so often, so he usually lets me do speeches in class, and the teachers are okay with it, and my teachers acknowledge that I'm gonna have to do speeches so that I can keep my eyes safe and stuff, so he's helped me with that.
Yeah. Do you find that doing that speech to let people know a little bit more about yourself and about your experience and your story, that they treat you kindly and that they appreciate you letting them know those parts of your story, so that they know from the get-go and they know different ways to support you and be compassionate?
Mm-hmm.
Rocco, how else has Mr. Murai supported you or helped you at school?
We meet in his office, and I'm really grateful that he helps me advocate for myself, and he puts together speeches with me, and he just listens to me, and I'm really grateful for, the stuff that he does for me and the protection of my eye and stuff. And he's just a really great counselor.
Awesome. What is the purpose of this speech that he's helped you write?
So basically, the purpose of the speech is to let other students know that if they hand me an object on my right side, I won't see it because I'm legally blind in that side.
Mm-hmm.
And it also means that they have to, it warns students that if they're walking on my right side, I probably won't see them, and they can't bump into me or else I'll go legally blind in the other eye. So me and Mr. Murai just talk about how we can do that and how we can keep it safe and how to be safe around students and stuff. So,
Wow, that must be an empowering experience for you. I mean,
it is.
it must take courage and bravery and some self-confidence for you to stand up in front of your classmates of probably 30 or more students, whether you know them and you've been going to school with them for a few years, or if they just came into your class this term, to share pretty personal information about yourself. What is that experience like for you?
It's not really that nerve-wracking, but like I want to like make sure that the message gets out, so I'll be safe.
Yeah, it's a good way to communicate, to show other students that it's okay to be a little bit vulnerable, to share a bit of your story so that they know how to interact with you and how to support your success and their success too, and how you want to be treated. That kind of sets the stage for, this is where I'm at, this is how I want you to treat me, and let's work together to have a great year, kind of thing. And
Yeah,
Mr. Murai, and Mr. Murai has supported you with your confidence in telling these students about your story and has helped you write that one speech, right? It's just one speech that you give. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, and shout out to Mr. Murai. It sounds like you've really supported Rocco in his journey. Has he been your counselor just this year or previous years as
He
well?
was my counselor last year as well.
Okay, so for 6th and 7th grade. Rocco, what advice or tips would you give educators or students watching this video?
I would give advice that we should be kind to each other, and we should like interact so that we can like make friendships, and so that everybody's like friendly to each other. We just get along with each other.
And how do you go about doing that? Since I've known you, you have been one of the most kind and compassionate human beings that I've ever met, and especially young person, as I work with 7th, 8th, and 9th graders. How have you become so kind and compassionate?
Well, it's just easy. All you have to do is like be kind to other people, and they'll probably be kind to you back.
Has that been your experience? For the most part?
Yeah, for the most part.
What ways have you been kind? Like, can you give us examples of?
Like sharing kind words and being respectful to each other, and like, just getting along in general,
Yeah,
sort of thing.
that's awesome. What types of qualities do you look for in a friend?
Sort of like fun things to look forward to, and like similar things that we both like, and both like video games and stuff. Basically, like hobbies that we have in common, and kind words like to each other, and like trying to keep a friendship as long as possible.
Yeah, so you communicate with positive words of encouragement and look for commonalities with the things that you like to do outside of school and inside of school. That's awesome. All right, Rocco, thank you so much for being part of this Educator Shout Out interview. And who are you shouting out to today?
Mr. Murai.
Shout out to Mr. Murai for being a fabulous school counselor, for listening, and for supporting Rocco and other students along their journey of adolescence. And what a beautiful time. And take it from Rocco, who has experienced some tough things, and from those experiences has still come out just as kind, probably more kind and compassionate than he was even before then, and learning how to advocate for himself, partially thanks to Mr. Murai. So thank you for making a difference, and to all you students out there, taking from Rocco and in building those friendships that last based on respecting one another and treating each other kindly with supportive language and communicating I think that speech that you give, I'm impressed by that. I think that's a great tool that you have in your toolbox to build relationships with people and to lead by example of how to be kind and compassionate and empathetic to people. And you never know what they're dealing with, what they're going through. Right. Kayla Ebby over and out. Educator shout out interview for the Educator Chipotle Challenge. Take it easy, folks. Much love.